it's Clay. How's everybody doing? And I want to show off a brand new pedal that I just got, and that is this Zoom G3. It is a multi-effects modeling unit, and pretty excited about it. They just released some new firmware, version 2.0, which really improved this thing to the point where I thought, you know what, I just cannot resist. I got it for about 150 bucks on a nice Labor Day discount, and pretty excited about it. I just wanted an overview of some of the features, some of the things that it can do, in case any of you are curious about it, you've never heard anything about it, or you just kind of want to get a taste of what it can do. This is kind of my explanation. So to give you a little bit of a background, I've had a lot of experience with digital gear. I've played a guitar rig and amplitude on, that's obviously software driven stuff. I've also owned a Line 6 HD 500 and used that extensively, so I feel like I've had my feet wet in terms of modelers quite a bit, but I'm really impressed with this one and kind of wanted to share why. So right off the bat, you've got these 3 foot switches, and they each control 3 independent blocks, and you can put whatever you want in those 3 spots, and it's always on, off, on, off, on, off. It's as simple as that. And the control layout is very simple. As you can see, if we take a look, they split them all up. So you've got 3 screens for your 3 switches. Very, very simple. You've got 3 knobs, and that will bring you to your edit screen. Right now we're looking at a compressor. These knobs control these parameters. It's, again, very straightforward. You've got these 2 type knobs here, and then the page. The type knobs actually will scroll through the different types of effects. So we've got a, I think that's a wah-wah. We've got a univibe, pitch shifter. I mean, we've got all sorts of crazy stuff. Compressors, overdrives, EQs. There's amps, delay. I mean, pretty much anything you could ever expect to be modeled is in here. Now, a quick note about kind of the nature of these. They don't actually necessarily go for pure realism. So, like right now, we're looking at the fuzz face, and it has gain, tone, and volume, which is not true to the real one. Whereas if we look at something else like like this booster, this also is going to have gain, tone, and level, whereas most boosters just have a level knob. Some other effects have a couple of different pages. Let's go ahead and look at some of the delays. These are a bunch of the amp sims that they have. They've got some chorus, some phaser, all sorts of crazy stuff. Here, this is a modulation delay. Now this one actually has 2 pages, so we've got time, feedback, and mix. And the page button brings us to our rate and level for the modulation itself. And that's very, very simple, very straightforward. All 3 of those all function the same. Any of the effects or amps can be placed in any of the slots. You can make the order left to right or right to left. It's very, very simple and straightforward. Very easy to use, very easy to manage. Now, one of the cool features about the version 2.0 software is it actually allows you to have a lineup of 6 total stomp boxes, whereas previously you only had 3. Now, you can either use this patch select button, and if you look down here, you actually see that it says there are 3 stomp boxes to your right. So this means that if we look at this whole thing and were to imagine it as like individual pedals, we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 3 more in this direction that you can also control. And you can get to those by pressing down both of these. As you can see, our compressor went here, our distortion went here, and now we've added a delay. Press it again, you shift over again, and let's just keep going all the way over. So now we've got reverb, delay, and delay, and then there are 3 more over here. You can also use our patch select buttons over here to scroll through. If you don't want to mess with the foot switches, it's all very, very simple, very easy, very straightforward. And like I said, any of those effects or amps can go in any of those modes. It's really, really handy, really good. It has tap tempo here, and you can also, I actually have a control in for an external tap tempo. And you can set, so let's take a look at, this is a digital delay. If you actually go up here to the total, you can, and then right here, you can actually control the switch. So this is our control in switch, is controlling tap tempo. You can also set it to a number of other things, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. So yeah, you can do a ton of stuff with this unit. We've got, like I said, tap tempo. It actually has a rhythm button here for a built-in drum machine. So if you press that, it brings you here. You can, you know, use a whole bunch of different, you know, we've got different beats here, shuffles, metal, punk, funk, blues, dance, anything that you could hope for there. You can also set that to tempo. You can set the mix, the level. So if you, right now it's at 80, so your straight signal is at 100, and the drum will only be at 80. And then obviously the tempo of the drum track, which is a really cool feature. I really like it. It's really great for jamming. This total button here, you know, offers some deeper level control. You can name your effect, your patch, which I think is new to the 2.0 software. You can determine your individual level output for each patch, which is really a cool feature. Here we can control the different chains if you want to have different effects in different places. If you want to move them around, you can do that. It's really easy to do. And then page 2 offers obviously the control over our external in, our tap tempo switch. I believe you can also use a expression pedal if you want. That would be more than handy and very useful. Then over here we've got, you know, so if we're using an expression pedal, this is how you would control that. So you can pick the type of effect and the specific parameter within that effect. Then you can also determine the heel and toe of the sweep. So the total button just gives you really in-depth control of each patch. Now our store swap switch button is how you save the effects. You can scroll and save them wherever you want. And then our global button actually does really cool stuff. Global is where you can control a lot of the parameters that select everything. So we've got a master volume level. I cranked it up a little bit higher. Master tap tempo. You've got different output modes. Now this is really important. You know, you've got combo front, stack front, combo power amp, stack power amp, and then obviously the direct mode. And one of the things about these modeling units is, you know, they have different EQ curves depending on what type of output mode you're in, and that can really affect the sound. And I would not always necessarily say that you should follow the manufacturer's guidance there. I know some guys have said that they really like combo mode for direct recording. So yeah, experiment with that. Definitely do whatever you like. It's definitely up to you. It has some cool power saving features. You know, so this you can control if you're on batteries, how long the light you want, how long you want the light to be on, what kind of batteries you've got. You know, it will automatically shut down. It has an economy feature, so it can be really handy if you're trying to be green. You can control the LCD. So yeah, you have all sorts of crazy options here. You know, autosave. This was actually a new feature in the 2.0. Autosave, if you ever tweaked a patch in the 1.0 software, it would automatically update and save your patches, whether you want to or not. So you can actually turn that off in the 2.0 software, which is really cool. And then this is actually for your USB audio out, and then the second page will show you your system version. I'm on 2.0. So let's just go ahead and take a look here at the back panel. You've got your input here, obviously for your guitar. It's got a passive versus active switch, so that'll kind of, if you have active pickups and you want to go with a less hot signal, you certainly can. It's got a balanced output, which is really cool. There's all sorts of parameters there if you want to ground lift, if you want it pre or post. You've got your standard 1/4 inch stereo outputs, your control in, your USB, and then this over here is your power switch. It's got off, eco, and on. I believe the eco mode will actually shut the unit off after 25 minutes of inactivity. So overall, it's a really cool and powerful unit. I really like it so far. It's very small. If you can see, each one of these 3 slots is about the same size as a Boss pedal. And it's a little bit taller, but it's definitely about the same size. So for me, it's a really good choice. I'm going to be using it for kind of a do-it-all effects unit. My reverb will be on there, probably a couple of different delays, maybe an overdrive or two, because actually I think they sound really good into an amp, which is not something I could say about the HD500. But anyways, it's a great pedal board solution, and I could actually just bring this board to the gig itself and just use the amp models, because that's something I really didn't talk much about, but it's got amp models. They sound really good. There's a huge variety, and version 2.0 added something like 9 new amp models, so it's really cool. Quick word about DSP usage. Certain effects and amps are more DSP heavy than others, but with the 2.0 software they actually made things more efficient so that you can actually get more use with your DSP. But I think that if you're trying to do like 2 amps, the HD reverb, and like something else like that, then you're probably going to have trouble. But right now I've got, you know, a different effect in each of the 6 slots. I think I've got compressor, overdrive, 2 delays, a reverb, and I think I might have a wah in there as well. And I am not overusing the DSP. So there, right there, you can tell that you have a lot of DSP on hand. It's really, really useful. You can pretty much use it however you want. There are, I think, also some effects that are like dual effects. So they'll have like, here we go, we've got like a compressor and an auto wah, delay and chorus, you know, so it's got a lot of flexibility, a lot of options. But it's a really cool unit. It's really cool. I think the way that the interface is extremely easy to use. The way that the switching works is really cool, and adding those other 3 slots that are off screen I think are really handy, because, you know, like something like a reverb, you're probably just going to leave that always on, or maybe a compressor, maybe your amp if you're using the modeling, you might want to leave those things always on. So it just gives you the choices to have more slots that you don't necessarily need to control, but you can control if you want. But overall, I really dig it. It's got some really cool features, and for the price, like I said, I got it for about $150 shipped to my door. That is crazy. I mean, that's a price of a reverb pedal itself, and I get reverb, I get delay, and I get so much more. Check the website if you want to see exact listings of what they have, but they've got a lot of really cool stuff. It's an extremely powerful unit. So I'm going to wrap it up there. It's a cool unit. I'll have more demos to come in the future. If you guys have any specific things you want to hear, just leave a comment. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you soon.